Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. I have so many spreads that I want to show you in today's video, but first of all, we're starting with the spread for my reading journal. My reading journal, which is actually mostly just a manga and manhwa journal. But anyway, I'm so sure if you read BL manga that you would have heard of this series. It's called Tashiro-kun, Why Are You Like This? I don't know about you, but I feel like I've seen images from this story forever, and also the mangaka posts like little drawings of the characters and they always end up in my Twitter feed. And I was just like, I have to read this. There's one specific character that I kept seeing and I was like, I have to figure out who is this man. But the actual main story is about these two college students. One is named Ebihara and one is named Tashiro, or those are their last names anyway. And Tashiro has a really big crush on Ebihara, but he has like a very scary face. Like whenever he and Ebihara first meet, like he literally thinks he's about to be mugged. And the reason they continue meeting is because Tashiro is part of a manga club at school, and Ebihara's like lifelong childhood best friend is also part of the same manga club. And even though Tashiro makes his feelings known, Ebihara is just kind of like, well, I don't know what you want me to do with that, but thank you, congratulations, whatever. But of course, he soon finds himself being like, yeah, I don't know, like we could maybe kiss or whatever, but that like doesn't mean anything. This series is definitely a comedy series. It's really funny. And I think it's interesting, especially when you kind of start getting into the second couple, to see like Tashiro and Ebihara together, how even though like physically they may not be as close, like mentally and emotionally, they're developing a really strong bond. Actually, when you think about it, nobody's really a couple yet in this series. So Ebihara and Tashiro are not yet a couple. And then the other characters, it's kind of hard to talk about it without spoiling anything. But basically, there is a character named Sega. He's not really their friend. He's kind of got like a school prince sort of vibe. He's very handsome, and that's why the members of the manga club had asked him if he could cosplay at one of their little events. And that's how Ebihara and Tashiro even meet him. And kind of like immediately, he really likes Ebihara as well. If you know me, then you know I don't really like any kind of love triangle situation. I don't want there to be a second male lead at all. But it doesn't really have that kind of like feeling to it. Like sometimes, you know, when you read something, it's like, obviously these two people aren't going to get together at all. Like actually Ebihara kind of thinks that Sega is rude. And that's because he is a little bit prickly. He's kind of like a misunderstood character in his own way, but also he's just kind of like a jerk sometimes. And then he meets his love interest. Oh my goodness, the way it happens is so like, the other character is being so sketchy and shady actually. His name is May, and he was the character that I had been seeing forever on social media. The glasses, the beauty marks, everything about his character design is so good to me. The way Sega and May meet is one of my favorite ever, like, I guess meetings. I don't know what other word to use. Meetings between characters in any story. I don't know what that says about me. If you've read the series, then I'm sure you know. Like, not only is it funny in parts, but also it's just so kind of like, oh. Like what May says to him, I kind of like clutched my pearls a bit. I was like, oh, we're just, okay. I don't want to spoil any other part of the story, of course. I definitely recommend, if you too have been waiting to read this story, read it. I read volumes 1 through 4. I don't know where the story is at in Japanese. I don't know if it's like almost ready for like a 5th volume to be released or if it's going to be a while. I know that there was like kind of a larger chunk of time in between some of these volumes. I don't know in terms of like when they came out in English though, how long of a wait there was in between them. Speaking of these being in English officially, I need them to be printed physically. I need to be able to hold the pages where May and Sega meet physically in my hands. Usually I don't really mind second couples in stories, but like rarely am I as excited for the second couples as I am the main couple. So if you like kind of a college setting, college life story with a lot of comedy more than, not that there's no romance, but there's more comedy than romance, I think, and you don't mind the second couple stealing some of the limelight from the main couple, then I definitely think you should read the series. The next spread I'm making is also for my reading journal, and it's also about a manga series. This one is called Life in Smoky Blue, and unfortunately, there's no official English translation yet. I don't know how to like not be dramatic about this story, about this series, when I tell you this very quickly skyrocketed to one of my favorite series ever of all time. It's that serious for me. I also chose very specific elements for this spread, which I'll talk about later too, because once I'm done telling you the plot, it will make more sense. You'll know why I chose what I chose. So I am not a connoisseur of old man yaoi. I know that that is some people's whole entire specific taste. That's their favorite thing to read. I feel like looking at this series, like if you just looked at the characters, you wouldn't really even think that they were older, but both of these men are on the verge of turning 40. And the way the story starts is that Azuma, the lighter-haired character, is at a bar and he's about to leave with some man, but he feels kind of like really weird, like a little dizzy, stumbly, and all of a sudden someone is like, hey, like let him go, I saw what you did. And Azuma is like, what is going on? Like, who is this guy? And the guy that saves him gets into a cab with him to ensure, of course, that he's getting home safely. And he realizes the guy that saved him is his old work rival, Kuji. So the next day when he wakes up, he is safe and sound in Kuji's home. And it's this beautiful, old-fashioned kind of style of Japanese house. I don't know if there's a specific term or anything like that for it, but it kind of reminds me of something that'd be probably, I don't know, like the equivalent of like if you see like a house in America from like the 40s or something like that. It's not like an ancient house, it's just like a beautiful old home. So Azuma and Kuji both quit working for the same company. Kuji quit before Azuma did though, so he kind of like didn't know what he was up to all this time. After Kuji quit the company, they kind of had one night together at like a motel, but then after that they just went their separate ways. Azuma is currently jobless, but Kuji does some like medical translation, and Azuma is also good at English, so he's kind of interested in translation in general as like, even if not a job, even just a hobby. And he realizes that Kuji's father used to be a translator before he passed away. He has this like big, gorgeous office full of like a bajillion books. And so that is why specifically I chose to use those house frames in my spread, as well as those super duper cute Sumiko Garashi little memos. They're kind of like house themed. This series feels so grown up to me, not even just because the characters are older, but some of the things they're going through, like their parents aging or having lost parents, and you know, career trajectory uncertainty, starting over in life, starting a new career, having to move physically out of a place that is very familiar and comfortable to you. I can't even say I relate to all that stuff, but just more so that it makes me think about my own future. All of these difficult things that we will have to go through at one time or another. And also the fact that they're both translators, I feel like there's kind of like layers of a metaphor there, like physically like they are translators, but also they both kind of had issues with their parents, sort of like communication issues. I think that's especially interesting with Kuji, considering his father was also a translator, but it's like their emotions did not translate well to each other. He kind of always thought that his father preferred his brother more, whereas his brother always felt like their father preferred Kuji more. And also Azuma and Kuji's relationship to each other, one of like the bigger things about the story is that they have yet to define their relationship. 3 whole volumes, and you know, they still have not told each other exactly what they mean to each other. And yet it's so apparent, like they almost don't even need to say anything out loud. It is such a beautiful atmospheric story, which is of course one of my favorite things. If I can describe something as atmospheric, then I'll probably love it. It's full of such real emotions and situations, and also the main characters, there's just like such passion between them. Like I said, this became one of my favorite ever series. I really wish it was translated into English. I will have to use my superpowers to make that happen. I think the scan team is doing a good job, but I would also love for this to have an official translation. And I also really love how the spread turned out, especially kind of the more like muted colors that I chose. If it were not for the Pinterest algorithm showing me a random panel from this story, I would have never read it. So thank the universe for Pinterest, as well as any forces of fate that led me to seeing that very specific pin into the story. Now we're going to take a very brief intermission, as I did in a video before, because like I said, I have a lot of spreads that I wanted to show you. This first one is my March TBR, and that art that's in it, so like the fruit sandwich, the little memo, the girl that's behind all of the drawings and stuff, she has a YouTube channel, and way before she started making like stationery and stuff, she used to make in citizen vlogs, and honestly, if it were not for her, I don't think my algorithm would have ever like shown me other like otaku vloggers and like other Korean journalers. So anyway, shout out to her. The next spread, also again in my reading journal still, I absolutely love the spread so much. The colors are so pretty, and honestly what started the spread were the buttons, that like red apple, the blue heart, the pink heart, the yellow star, like that was kind of the basis of the spread. Oh, and the orange ribbon. I'll talk about this manga more, of course, whenever I do my whole March reading log. The next spread, I actually really recommend Fake Back Lips to anyone. If you've ever read You Get Me Going by Moscareto and whoever does the art for that, you'd probably like Fake Fact Lips. And the next spread, actually this manga is by the same author as Fake Fact Lips. And also in this spread, the green apple and the green star, I don't remember where I found them. I'm hoping that it was a tweet, but it might not have been. And I know what the brand is called, it's Malongkong, but I just don't know like where I even got these from. So I'm going to have to search the depths of the internet, but you know me, I will find the original source. So that's the end of our little intermission. I just loved all those spreads too much to only show them to you at the end of the video. So now we can get back into making the final spread for today. This last spread is for my movie journal. I recently watched The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. If you've seen my older journaling videos from last year, then you might remember when I when I read, or I guess I should say when I listened to the audiobook for The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I had kind of a difficult time with it because it was so long. Like I was like, what are we doing in this book for so long? I think I ended up giving it like a 3.5 or something like that. Mind you, I still have been thinking about that book to this day. So that kind of like shows you how I really rate things out of like my own personal enjoyment and not necessarily like how good the story is. If there's any glaring issue, of course, like that would obviously like I would remove some stars for that. And I do think a book being too long is a glaring issue. Especially when you're listening to something on audio, like, cause I mean, I have it sped up to like at least like 1.35 or something like that. Like that's my base of what I listen to audiobooks on. Like I can go like faster, but like I do not go any slower. Maybe 1.25 if something was like hard to understand. Anyway, all that is to say, I thought that the book was better. Of course it was. Of course a book is always going to be better. There's just more detail and stuff, but I didn't think it was a bad movie. It's just like, it's not as exciting as a regular Hunger Games movie would be, I guess. I've only seen the first two Hunger Games movies. I did not watch the either Mockingjay movie because I'd read the whole entire book series before, of course, the movies came out. I say, of course, as if you were right there beside me in my youth when I read them, but I did read all the books before the movies came out. Actually, one of my childhood friends stole my copy of Mockingjay from me. I loaned it to her and she just never gave it back. And she actually owns like a very successful like stationery business nowadays, which is very sheree coded of her. And yeah, I think about that sometimes, that she makes probably like 6 figures a year and she stole my Mockingjay book from me. She also wanted me to give her my Hello Kitty stationery collection when we were younger. I was like, give you my what? Like, I'd rather give you an organ. But anyway, Rachel Zegler, is it Zegler or Ziegler? I think it's Zegler, right? You will always be famous. Like, she is so talented. I have kind of no desire to watch any other kind of musical. Oh, I am about to watch Wicked actually for the first time, but I don't really like care to see her in anything else. And like Snow White just came out, but she is seriously so talented. I also kind of like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be shady like this, but I kind of feel like everybody could have been more of a like more unknown actor, because I do kind of feel like some of the budget went to Viola Davis and Peter Dinklage. Like, they kind of did not need to be there. Like, I don't think their characters, their roles, like, required two actors of like such caliber to fill them. The whole movie just always kind of felt like it was on a set. Like, it didn't feel like it was in real life. And also, I just flipped through my physical journal because I wanted to remember exactly what I wrote about it. And I said, they did not depict the depths of Snow crashing out or his betrayal of Sejanus, but I liked it. And I would say that is kind of like my overall review. I liked it. Like, it was not a bad movie by any means. I liked it. I just don't think it's possible to watch it without having read the book. Like, I just feel like you're missing so much. Also, the new Hunger Games novel, Sunrise on the Reaping, just came out, and I had placed my hold at the library for the audiobook, and it was like, you're 26th in line. I was like, oh, 26th? But even I felt lucky because some people were like 300th in line, and it reminded me of that episode of SpongeBob so much when he's in rock bottom. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But then a miracle occurred. I checked Hoopla instead of Libby, and because Hoopla allows you to have instant borrows, it was there. Everybody else waiting in line couldn't be me. I could just immediately check it out. Everybody who's 329th in line could not be me. Anyway, this spread is finished, so let's go put all of them into my journals. So how is everyone doing? I hope that you're doing well. Of course, I always say it in the beginning of my videos, and I mean it. But I do always wonder, like, what is everyone up to? A lot of times whenever I see YouTubers say stuff like that, I'm like, they just want people to comment. They just want like a little algorithm boost or something maybe. You don't need to tell me what you've been up to at all. I just do think about my subscribers every day. I just feel like even if we all live different lives, like, we have this thing or multiple things in common, and we all meet up here from time to time. And I just think that's really fun. I haven't really been up to anything. I'm sure if you've ever seen my vlogs, then you would know I get up to absolutely nothing on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis, a yearly basis. By the way, the vlogs are not like a thing of the past. It's just that, like, I collect clips, and I always have like the intention of doing kind of like a seasonal vlog, but then I'm just like, I don't know if I have enough to even make a video. Like, I still have all the clips from like last fall and winter, and I just have nothing to do with them now. But even if I can't make monthly vlogs, I do feel like I could make like quarterly ones or like seasonal ones. I always think it's so fun to edit vlogs too. And it really helps me remember stuff. Like, the frosting that I made for my mom's birthday cake last year is the one that I put on my birthday cake this year. And I probably wouldn't even have remembered what my mom's birthday cake was like if I hadn't recorded it. So to any vlog lovers, don't worry. One day there will be a new one. Oh, also I forgot to say that I watched another movie besides The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I also rewatched My Best Friend's Wedding. I always try to watch a movie around my birthday. I have definitely seen My Best Friend's Wedding before in the past. It's actually one of my favorite ever rom-coms. But the reason I watch it is because in that movie, Julia Roberts' character is about to turn 28. And the movie came out in 1997, so it's also going to be turning 28 this year. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to make a spread for it. Maybe. But that's why I colored in 2 squares, 2 little movie clappers instead of 1, because I watched a second movie. With that said, thank you so much for watching today's video. Everything I used in my spreads will be in my Pinterest board, which is linked in the description box, along with my other social media accounts, as well as the links to the Google Drive folders for all of my journal deco kits, including the new one. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. I really appreciate all of you taking your time to hang out with me and to be here. I will keep doing my best to bring you new videos. So until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.